Hello learners, welcome back to our YouTube channel India's Learner. Here we are back with the NCERT Geography of Class 8. Content will be based on NCERT syllabus. In this video, we are going to discuss the Chapter 2, that is the land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. As here mentioned that this is the part 2 of the chapter, in which we will mainly focus on the biotic resources such as natural vegetation and wildlife resources. So yes, let's start the video and let us learn about it. Of course, before going to start the video, I would request you to please appreciate my efforts by subscribing my YouTube channel. And yes, do like and share the video with your friends and others for more videos. Thank you. So, at first, it is important to know that what are the key points of the part 2 of the video. The key points of this part are: in this video, we are going to learn about the natural vegetation and wildlife, their meaning and relationship. Under this, we will also get to know about the term biosphere and ecosystem. Then we will understand about the importance and uses of flora and fauna. Next, we will discuss that what are the various types of natural vegetation we have in all over the world. Among these, we will also know that most of the forest or the natural vegetation are in the form of evergreen and deciduous forest. So we will also discuss what is the difference between these two. And last, we will come to know what are the conservation methods we can adopt to save flora and fauna or the natural vegetation and wildlife. So let's move to the next slide. So at first, it is important to know that what do we mean by natural vegetation and wildlife. Let us start with the natural vegetation. Natural vegetation are the group of plants which have developed in an area without human interference, or it refers to the plant community that contains the various kinds of trees, shrubs, grasses and bushes which has grown on their own without human interference. So, they can also termed as flora. The growth of flora largely depends on a variety of factors such as climate of the region, relief that means the geographical structure of the region, soil, type of soil is also determine the kind of natural vegetation found at there, and precipitation, that means amount of rainfall, is also a determining factor on which the growth of natural vegetation depends. So let's now know about what do we mean by wildlife. Wildlife includes the animal kingdom, which consists of animals, birds, aquatic creatures and insects. Wildlife refers to animals, birds and other organisms that live in their natural habitat. They can also term as fauna, and it is a significant part of our ecosystem. Within the natural habitat, plants and animals live together and interact with each other to meet their requirements. And this interdependency makes the useful system for the survival of living things. let us know what is this and what about we are talking. Let's move to the next slide. So now let us talk about what is biosphere. As we have already talked that both flora and fauna are interdependent on each other. They can exist only in the biosphere. What is the biosphere? The natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone. The biosphere is the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, earth, hydrosphere, water, and the atmosphere, air. So the land, water, and air. They interact with each other to provide life-supporting conditions. So plants, humans, and animals, all these three living things are the essential parts of the biosphere and supports the ecological balance of the nature. So now let's know about what is that system of which we were talking. That is the ecosystem. What is the ecosystem? The life-supporting system in the biosphere, in which all the living things, plants, humans, and animals are interrelated and interdependent on each other. It's called ecosystem. And this supporting system is very much essential and to balance the ecological system of the nature. So now let us know what is the importance or utilization of natural vegetation and wildlife. They both have several direct and indirect aesthetic, economic, and ecological benefits. Let's know about the first is flora. How the flora useful to us? The flora, that means natural vegetation, are a great source of oxygen and help us by absorbing carbon dioxide. The flora also provide shelter to many wild animals, also helpful to balance ecosystem. Forests are a great source of humus, which makes the soil more fertile and prevent the soil erosion. Yes, the forest also provide timber, not only timber, the fruits, vegetables, gums, charcoal, oil, fodder, fuel wood, furniture, herbs, varnishes, pulp, honey, fruits, beeswax, and various other useful products. Flora also help in storage underground water, like the roots of trees bind the soil and protect it from damage by running water and blowing winds. They reduce flood problems in this way. Not only this, they also helpful in obtaining various kinds of minerals from forest. They are the home of various hill stations also, which attract a large number of tourists. In this way, they are also helpful to earn great revenue for the government. How the fauna, that means wildlife, is useful to us? Fauna or the wildlife is very essential for the survival of the human beings, as they provide us milk, meat, hides, and wool. Insects like bees provide us honey and help in pollination of flowers. Some of the wild animals or the wildlife act as the decomposers. The birds feed insects and act as a decomposer. They also helpful or maintain ecological balance. They also helpful in germination and soil generation, and some of the animals is also used as a beast of burden or for traveling purposes. So these are the uses or the importance of both flora and fauna to us. So that means they both are very essential to us, need to be protected, need to be conserved. So let us know more about them. Move to the next. So our next topic is the types of natural vegetation. We can broadly categorize natural vegetation into forest, grassland and shrubs. Forests are associated with areas having abundant water supply or heavy rainfall and huge trees, while the grasslands are areas having short stern trees and grasses grow in the region of moderate rainfall. The size of the trees and the density reduces as the amount of moisture decreases. The shrubs grow in the dry areas of low rainfall, which have deep roots and leaves having thorny and waxy surface to reduce loss of moisture by transpiration. So these are the three types of natural vegetation. About the feature we have learned. Now let us know what are the various forms of these. We have forest. We have mainly the six kind of forest or six type of forest: tropical evergreen, tropical deciduous, temperate evergreen, temperate deciduous, Mediterranean and coniferous forest. So these are the forests. I think you have already learned each of them about in detail in your previous class. Here we will discuss about each of them in very short. So let's start the tropical evergreen. Tropical evergreen forests are also called tropical rainforest. They are found in equatorial region. The trees do not shed their leaves at the same time during any part of the year. That's why the trees are called evergreen here. Next, the tropical deciduous. Tropical deciduous called monsoon forest because they are found in monsoon region. Trees shed their leaves at the same time in a particular season of the year. Next, the temperate evergreen forest. These are found in cold climatic conditions, and the trees here have both broader and needle-like leaves, while the temperate deciduous forest found mainly in moderate and tropical areas. The trees have broadened leaves. Mediterranean forest. Mediterranean are found along the western part of the continent in the temperate region. The trees have thick, fleshy, flex-coated leaves, while the coniferous or the taiga forest found mainly in the cold temperate region, and the trees have conical shape and needle-shaped leaves, thick bark and soft wood. Let's move to the tropical grassland. What are the various types of trees we have? These are also categorized into tropical and temperate. So the tropical grassland are also called savannas in Africa and composed in Brazil. They are said tropical because they are found in tropical regions. These usually have tall grass, so it is not supporting the farming and cattle rearing. While in the temperate grassland, they are found in the mid-latitudinal zones, and it is known by different names in different continents. We have learned. Let us discuss what are the different names. Prairies in North America, it's known by the name of pampas in South America, downs in Australia, velds in South Africa, and steppes in Europe and Asia. Here the grassland have short grass which are fit for cattle feeding. So these grasslands supports farming and cattle rearing, and the grasslands are also known as breadbasket of the world, because this supports the farming and cattle rearing in a large space. So let us know about what are the various types of shrubs we have. Shrubs are mainly categorized into desert vegetation and tundra vegetation. Desert vegetation grown in dry areas of low rainfall, and this vegetation has deep roots and thorny and waxy leaves that help to retain moisture. For example, cacti plant, saguaro cactus, acacia, etc. While the tundra vegetation found in cold regions near Arctic Circle in northern hemisphere. It comprises mosses, lichens, and some shrubs and meadows. Meadows are kind of short grass. So now let us know about the next topic. As we know that most of the world natural vegetation is covered by the two kinds of forests, that are evergreen and deciduous forest. So let us discuss what are the difference between these two. Forests are broadly classified as evergreen forest and deciduous depending on the shade their leaves. Evergreen forests do not shade their leaves at the same time during any part of the year. On the other hand, the deciduous forest, the trees here shade their leaves in a particular season to conserve loss of moisture through transpiration. So these are the majorly different from each other on the basis of when they shade their leaves. So let's talk about our next topic, that is the conservation of natural vegetation. Conservation of both natural vegetation and wildlife is important, is essential, because they both have importance in many ways. They are helpful to us, they are helpful in different kinds of natural activities also. They balance ecosystem, and yes, they also provide so many things to us, and through which the survival of a human takes place. So yes, let's know about some of the methods of conservation of natural vegetation. The methods are afforestation. Afforestation, as we all know, that means planting more and more trees should be done to conserve the natural vegetation. By controlling deforestation, at the same time we have to control the deforestation also. Stop shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation or jhum cultivation in our India, it's popularly known as. And yes, it should be stopped because it loses the soil, and the minerals are lost off by practicing more and more of this kind of practice. So we should stop this. Practice and promote social forestry. The program like social forestry can be promoted and practiced, and yes, it should be encouraged at the regional and community level. Promote social awareness programs like Van Mahotsav, and yes, we also celebrate the World Forest Day on 21st March, as well as we also celebrate World Environment Day on 5th of June to aware the mass about the natural vegetation and their conservation. We can also build the nature park and biosphere reserve so that the conservation of natural vegetation can be easily done. Let's move to the next. So now let's know about the conservation of wildlife. Conservation of wildlife or the fauna need to be done as the wildlife or the wild animals are precious gift of nature for the human beings. So it is essential to conserve them for the coming generation. They provide so many things to us. They are helpful and play an important role in different kind of natural activities, as well as they balance the ecosystem, the life supporting system on which our survival depends. So we need to conserve it. Let's know what are the methods we need to adopt by creating awareness programs at regional and community level. Some awareness programs should be encouraged. Through trained and skilled community, it can be done by building national parks, biosphere reserves, and wildlife sanctuaries. These protect or create the natural habitat to the wildlife so that they can survive. They are made to protect ecological integrity of ecosystem, as well as they are helpful to preserve and development, especially the endangered species. By restricting killing, hunting, poaching, and breeding of animals, yes, these are the threats to the wildlife, because the people are involved in the exploitation of wildlife resources. They are blindly involved in poaching. These result in sharp decline in the number of particular species. So they need to be restricted through government organization and agreements such as CITES. Animals and birds trading should be prohibited, as well as to meet this purpose. International or the national organization need to be work on it, just like the International Convention, the CITES has been introduced. The CITES stands for the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. It is the international agreement between various governments. Ultimately, it is our moral duty also to conserve the both plants and animals. We should never forget that the fauna and flora both are important to us. So it is our important duty to conserve these two to promote our survival. So in last, we are going to discuss the keywords of the part 2 of the video that contains the majorly two topics, that is national parks. National parks, let us know what are these. National parks are natural areas designated to protect the ecological integrity of one or more ecosystem for the present and future generation. And the next is the biosphere reserve. Biosphere reserves are natural areas or the series of protected areas that are linked through a global network intended to demonstrate the relationship between conservation and development. Not only these two, we have already discussed many of the keywords in both of the parts. We also learned about the wildlife sanctuary, that is a reserved area meant for preservation and development, especially for endangered species. So these three national parks, biosphere reserves, and wildlife sanctuaries are the areas that need to be made to conserve the wildlife species. And not only these three, our governmental agreements like CITES and the institution like World Wide Fund is also working in the same manner. So let us move to the climax. So yes, hope this video is helpful to you. If we